Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my shop. Today is October 27th and it's my weekly shop update. So I have a few things going on in the shop this week, so let's get into it. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video I did on the track holder that I did. It was a really fun project to get out here and do something a little different. Just film things a little differently with the no talking thing. I haven't done one of those in a long time, and it's just nice to focus more on the video itself than on the project, because literally all this is a scrap piece of wood with a rabbit in it and some holes drilled in it for some stainless steel rods. It's a very fast project, so it makes it a lot more conducive to a lot more with the videography, which is a lot of fun because I shot that all on my 7D, which is my DSLR from back when I used to be into photography. So before I dumped all my money into woodworking stuff, I dumped my money into this stuff. So it's kind of cool to kind of use that stuff again, even though it's not pictures, it's video, it's just a little more of that. So I had a couple questions on here I thought I'd answer because I obviously didn't talk in the video, and the biggest one was, why did I make it so long and not like make it shorter so I could stack multiple tracks? So I actually have 6 tracks, so the short ones are double stacked. And the reason why I like not conserving wall space over here is because there really isn't anything else I can put back here. This is between the wall and the back side of the door here where it swings is like less than 2 inches. So there really isn't a whole lot of other things I could put back here besides these things. I did leave some space up here in case I wanted to put something up there someday. I don't know what I would. The only thing I could think about was like I could move my Kyle Toth calendar from back here, like up here or something. That would fit, but otherwise I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of the space, so that's why I made it the full width, and that was the size of the scrap I had, so that's about it, I guess. That was a fun project. I enjoyed that. So this week on the HIGHBOY, I got started on the gooseneck moldings by making the templates, or template I guess, for the moldings, and then also getting the stock ready for that. So I did do a whole video on making and installing gooseneck moldings like almost 2 years ago. I'll leave a link to that in the description and up in the cards in case you want to see a little bit more of that process. But basically you get the different curve for the gooseneck, since the gooseneck is offset from the scroll board's curve, so it's a different shape than what's on the scroll board. So if it holds up here like that, you can see the curvature is slightly different. So the stock for this was a little more interesting because I did have some 12-core cherry that I used for this that was cut from just some like really junky logs that we were just cutting just to kind of get rid of because otherwise it'd be firewood. So the stock wasn't super perfect, so it did have some interesting challenges. Actually, it wasn't that challenging. It kind of came out pretty nicely, but I had to spend a little bit of time laying things out on the stock I had to get the best yield from those 2 pieces of wood. So now it leaves me with my molding profiles, and at this point I am working on the little router jig to route that profile, and then also deciding what the profile is going to be. So here is the profile I used on the secretary desk, and I want to do something fairly similar. So on this one I think I'm going to make this second cove a little bit deeper, and then I'm going to do something different on the bottom where I have this step profile that I have not totally decided yet, but I'm leaning towards using this bit here to give me sort of a OG kind of shape thing down in that area. So I definitely have a lot of routing ahead of me. When I made the moldings for the secretary desk, it took me like, what, 4 hours to make the moldings, just the routing part. And the first time I made the moldings, I made the profiles wrong, so I ended up doing that whole thing twice. So for the secretary desk, I did 8 hours of routing to make 2 sets of moldings, 1 set that was incorrect. So that should be fun. So also this week I got this H&T Gordon skewed rabbit plane. I got this from Walter over at the Dusty Splinters YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to his channel down in the description. But he posted a video a couple weeks ago saying that he was going to be paring down some of his planes in his collection. And I had first seen the H&T Gordon planes at the Unplugged Wood Shop when I was in Toronto last year. And they're beautiful, beautiful tools. So I just jumped at the opportunity to buy this off of him because it's just beautiful for no other reason other than other planes he had for sale. This is the one I probably actually use. So please bear with me as I demonstrate this because I have never owned, used, or set up a wooden hand plane before. So I don't think my setup is totally perfect at this moment, but it still does produce shavings. So this plane has that skewed blade, so I can kind of work a little better on some crazier grain, which I sometimes encounter. So I made a little rabbit here just with my fingers as a fence, and let's give it a few passes and see how the shavings look. The sound's pretty cool. So yeah, this thing is pretty amazing, and I guess I can justify it because this is a little bit narrower than the shoulder plane that I already have and use for stuff like this. And yeah, I think I'll find some uses for this, even though I don't technically need it. So I think that's about all that's going on in my shop this week. Let's take a look at some viewer projects. First this week, it's a picture frame by Nick. This was Nick's first real woodworking project, and he made it for his wife's grandparents' 65th wedding anniversary. The center area is curly maple sandwiched between some wenge, and he did the coves on the table saw. Next is a nightstand by Don. This is made from pecan and walnut, and he used pocket holes for the joinery and finished it with polyurethane. And you can find more of Don's work over on his YouTube channel and on Instagram. Next, the Keepsake box by Jonathan. Jonathan is 14 years old, and he made this box from curly maple and walnut, and it features hand-cut dovetails. This was his second attempt at hand-cutting dovetails, and the box is finished with Danish oil, which really made the figure on the maple pop. Last this week is a cedar strip canoe by Aaron. Aaron is 22 and he's studying to be a woodwork teacher. The canoe is made entirely from scrap cedar that he collected while working at a timber mill, which he then milled down to final size for his canoe. So in case you missed my video last week, in a little over a week, Saturday, November 4th, I'll be at the Rockler store in St. Louis for their grand reopening thing. They just moved to a bigger, more robust space, and I'll be there for that celebration. So if you're in the St. Louis area, definitely stop out and say hi. And yeah, I think that's about it this week. Yeah. So, thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today or anything here in my shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking. And happy Halloween! Whoa.